Let me ask you a question. What really keeps a man coming back to you? Is it the way you look? The lingerie? The physical spark? No, that might get his attention, but it won't hold it. The truth is, intimacy isn't just about the body, it's about how you make someone feel. And when you understand that, you realize the real secrets that make a man crave you aren't just physical techniques, they're emotional triggers. The first secret is confidence. Confidence is the sexiest lingerie you can ever wear. A woman who owns her body, whether she's in a silk dress or an oversized t-shirt, is magnetic. Men are addicted to confidence because it gives permission. Permission to be free, to be real, to let go. When you step into intimacy with certainty, without apologizing, without hiding, you set the tone, and believe me, he'll follow. The second secret is playful mystery. Seduction isn't about showing everything at once, it's about pacing, a slow reveal, a whispered not yet. Think of it like your favorite TV show. You don't binge it all at once because each episode leaves you hungry for more. The art of mystery makes desire a never-ending loop. He'll keep chasing because you're not predictable. The third secret is emotional connection. This is the one nobody talks about, because great intimacy isn't just about skin, it's about the soul. A man might sleep with many women, but he craves the one who makes him feel something. Laugh together, share a secret, look into his eyes and really see him. That emotional bridge turns physical chemistry into lasting passion. The fourth secret is playfulness over perfection. Men don't want a performance, they want presence. Forget the script in your head. What's sexy is your ability to laugh when things get awkward, to tease him, to not take yourself too seriously. Playfulness removes pressure and builds intimacy faster than any technique you've read in a magazine. And the fifth secret is aftercare, the real foreplay. What happens after is just as important as what happens during. Do you collapse and check your phone? Or do you hold him, whisper something in his ear, run your fingers gently down his arm? Those little acts create a memory that lingers long after, and that's what keeps him coming back, because you make him feel wanted, not just in the moment, but long after. So here's the truth, it's not about being flawless, it's not about tricks, it's about confidence, mystery, connection, playfulness and care. You want to know what makes a man beg for more? It's when he realizes being with you is not just pleasure, it's an experience, because beauty might catch his eye, but your energy, your essence, your secrets are what make him stay. Confidence is the ultimate turn-on, and it has nothing to do with fitting into a standard of beauty, wearing the perfect outfit, or performing in a flawless way. It's about how you carry yourself, how you own the moment, and how you transmit certainty to the person in front of you. Imagine walking into a room without apologizing for taking up space, without shrinking yourself, without second-guessing whether you're enough. That energy is magnetic because confidence gives permission. It tells the other person, I am safe in my own skin, so you can be safe in yours too. Men are deeply responsive to confidence because it signals freedom. It tells him he doesn't need to play a role, doesn't need to impress with overcompensation, doesn't need to constantly measure whether he's doing everything right. When you radiate confidence, you're saying, I accept myself as I am, and I'm here to connect, not to perform. That kind of energy makes intimacy easy because it removes the pressure of perfection and replaces it with presence. He's no longer caught in his head thinking about what to do next. He's caught up in you. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance or trying to dominate every interaction. It's not about being louder, bolder, or more forceful. Real confidence is quieter, steadier, and far more powerful. It's in the way you hold eye contact, the way you smile like you know something worth sharing, the way you move without rushing or apologizing. It's in choosing to show your quirks instead of hiding them, in laughing freely without worrying whether you look silly, in being vulnerable without constantly asking for reassurance. That kind of confidence doesn't demand attention, but it naturally attracts it. Think about how different it feels when someone is self-conscious. They're tugging at their clothes, hiding parts of their body, avoiding eye contact, or constantly asking if what they're doing is okay. That nervous energy gets passed on, and suddenly both people feel tense. Now picture someone who leans into the moment, who doesn't hide, who doesn't need validation every second. That person is magnetic because they invite trust. They say without words, I know I'm enough, and I want to share this with you. One of the most beautiful things about confidence is that it isn't dependent on age, size, or social standards. A woman in sweatpants can be more seductive than a woman in expensive lingerie if she's embodying her own certainty. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it. It's not the words you say, it's how you say them. Confidence turns simple moments into unforgettable ones because it shows you're comfortable in your own skin, and that comfort allows him to relax, open up, and connect in a way he can't with someone who's constantly seeking approval. Playful mystery is the secret ingredient that keeps desire alive long after the first spark of attraction. It's the art of pacing, of giving just enough to excite, but not so much that everything is predictable. When someone can't quite anticipate your next move, when there's a sense of surprise woven into your interactions, it creates a craving that never quite goes away. Think about the thrill of waiting for the next episode of your favorite show. It's not the episode you've already seen that excites you, it's the unknown of what's coming next. That same principle applies to intimacy. A slow reveal, a moment of teasing, a playful pause before giving in. All of these keep him on edge in the best possible way. Mystery isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's not about withholding affection or creating distance for the sake of control. True mystery is about keeping a sense of discovery alive. When everything is revealed at once, the excitement disappears quickly, but when you pace yourself, when you leave room for curiosity, you create a rhythm that builds anticipation. That anticipation is what makes him want to chase, because chasing is not about effort, it's about being intrigued, being captivated, being drawn into something that feels like an unfolding story. Playfulness adds another dimension. Mystery on its own can feel cold if it's not balanced with warmth, but when you pair mystery with playfulness, it becomes irresistible. Playfulness is the sparkle in your eyes when you pull away just before a kiss, the laughter in your voice when you whisper not yet, the teasing smile that keeps him wondering what you're thinking. It's not about being distant, it's about being present while still keeping an element of surprise. That combination turns intimacy into a dance rather than a routine. The reason playful mystery works so powerfully is because human desire thrives on uncertainty. Too much certainty kills excitement. If he knows exactly what's going to happen every time, if he can predict every move, then the passion becomes mechanical. But when there's unpredictability, when there are shifts in rhythm, when he can't fully script the experience, he stays engaged, he pays attention, he leans in closer because he doesn't want to miss what comes next. This doesn't just apply to the physical. Playful mystery shows up in conversation, in the way you tell stories, in the way you share a piece of yourself while holding back just enough to keep him curious. It's in revealing layers over time, instead of laying everything bare from the start. The mystery keeps him invested, and the playfulness makes it enjoyable rather than frustrating. Together they build a dynamic that makes him crave you not just once, but over and over again. Emotional connection is the invisible thread that transforms physical closeness into something unforgettable. You can have chemistry, attraction, even a wild spark that sets off fireworks, but without emotional depth, it fades as quickly as it arrives. What lingers in a man's heart, what keeps him coming back, is not just the way you touch him, but the way you reach him. When he feels seen, when he feels understood, when he feels that you are not just with his body, but with his soul, the experience becomes irreplaceable. That is the power of emotional connection. It turns moments into memories and passion into devotion. A man might be drawn to many people physically, but the one he can't forget is the one who touched something deeper. It could be the way you laughed together in the middle of an intimate moment, how you weren't afraid to share a secret thought, or how you held his gaze just long enough to remind him that this was more than attraction, it was intimacy. That depth creates safety, and safety is what allows him to let his guard down. Most men spend their lives carrying armor, pretending to be strong, to be unshakable, to always be in control, but when you connect with him emotionally, you give him a place where the armor can fall away, where he doesn't have to perform, where he can simply be himself. That is rare, and because it is rare, it is priceless. Emotional connection is built in small, subtle ways. It's in the way you listen without rushing him, in the way you notice the details others overlook, in the way you bring humor when he feels heavy, or stillness when he feels restless. It's about being tuned in enough to sense what he needs, without him having to ask. It's not about fixing him or changing him. It's about meeting him in a space where he feels valued. That kind of presence is powerful because it says, I see you, I accept you, and I want to know you. And when a man feels truly known, desire shifts from being shallow to being rooted. Think about the difference between attraction that is purely physical and attraction that is emotional. Physical attraction is instant, but it can also be fleeting. Emotional attraction grows deeper with time. It doesn't fade with familiarity, it intensifies. The more layers you discover about each other, the more connected you feel. It's like discovering a favorite song. You may have heard it once and enjoyed it, but it's when you listen again and again, noticing the lyrics, the pauses, the rhythm, that it becomes part of you. Emotional connection is the rhythm beneath the passion, the part that makes the song unforgettable. One of the most profound parts of emotional intimacy is vulnerability. To connect deeply, you have to let go of the mask. That means daring to share your own truth, even when it feels risky. Vulnerability doesn't weaken the connection, it strengthens it, because it creates trust. When you share openly, you invite him to do the same, and when he realizes he can trust you with his fears, his flaws, his dreams, his doubts, that's when desire transforms into devotion. That's when you stop being one chapter in his life and start becoming the story he wants to keep reading. Emotional connection doesn't mean every moment has to be serious. Sometimes it's as light as laughing until your stomach hurts. Other times it's sitting in silence together and feeling completely at peace. What matters is that he feels you're not just next to him, but with him. That presence is rare in a world filled with distractions, and it's that presence that turns intimacy into something he can't replicate anywhere else. Playfulness is one of the most overlooked yet powerful elements of intimacy, and it holds the ability to transform an ordinary encounter into something unforgettable. Too often, people approach closeness as though it's a performance, like there is a script they need to follow, or a checklist of steps they need to complete. They worry about getting everything right, about looking flawless, about being impressive enough to keep someone interested. But here's the truth. Perfection does not make intimacy magical. Playfulness does. When you can laugh, when you can tease, when you can allow yourself to be silly and spontaneous, you take away the pressure and create a space where both of you can relax and enjoy. That's where the real magic begins. Imagine the difference between two scenarios. In one, someone is overly focused on doing everything perfectly. They are constantly checking whether they look okay, whether their movements are right, whether they're living up to an imagined expectation. The energy becomes tight, forced, and heavy. In the other scenario, someone is light, playful, and not afraid to laugh at themselves. They spill water and giggle about it. They stumble on a word and make a joke. They take the unexpected moment and turn it into something fun. Which one feels more attractive? Which one draws you in? It's always the second, because playfulness removes fear, it removes judgment. It gives permission for both people to just be human, and that is what builds true intimacy. Playfulness is not about being childish, it's about bringing childlike energy into the connection. Think about how children play. They are not worried about whether they look cool, whether they are being judged, or whether they are doing something right. They are present in the moment, curious, adventurous, and willing to let joy lead. Bringing that same energy into intimacy creates an atmosphere of freedom, and freedom is deeply seductive. When you're playful, you're telling the other person, this is not about pressure, this is about joy, this is not about perfection, this is about connection, and that message is irresistible. Another reason playfulness matters so much is because intimacy often involves vulnerability, and vulnerability can feel intimidating. People are afraid of being seen too closely, of being judged, of making mistakes. Playfulness takes that vulnerability and softens it. Instead of fearing mistakes, you embrace them. Instead of seeing imperfections as flaws, you turn them into opportunities to laugh and bond. For example, if something awkward happens, like fumbling with clothes or knocking something over, instead of freezing with embarrassment, a playful response might be to laugh, to tease, or to turn it into part of the fun. That instantly diffuses the tension and builds closeness. You're showing that nothing has to be perfect for it to be meaningful. Men in particular find playfulness incredibly attractive because it signals that you are confident enough not to take yourself too seriously. When you are playful, you're saying, I'm comfortable in this space, I don't need everything to be flawless to enjoy myself. That energy creates a sense of safety for him as well. He doesn't have to perform, he doesn't have to worry about impressing you at every second. He can simply be himself. And the more he feels he can be himself with you, the more deeply connected he becomes. Playfulness then isn't just about fun, it's about creating a foundation of trust. Playfulness also helps to keep passion alive over the long term. At the start of any relationship, there is natural excitement. Everything is new, everything feels electric. But as time goes on, routines set in. Without intention, passion can fade. Playfulness interrupts routine and keeps things fresh. It invites curiosity back into the connection. A playful glance, a cheeky remark, an unexpected touch, or a sudden burst of laughter. These things reignite the spark, even when the relationship has been going on for years. Playfulness is like oxygen to a fire. It keeps the flame burning brightly. Another element of playfulness is teasing, in the most positive sense of the word. Teasing is a way of saying, I notice you, I enjoy you, and I'm not afraid to joke with you. Light teasing builds tension and desire, because it keeps interactions lively and unpredictable. It's not about putting someone down or making them feel insecure. It's about sparking a playful back and forth that keeps energy flowing. That teasing might be a playful challenge, a witty remark, or even holding back affection for just a moment to heighten anticipation. These little moments of playful tension make everything more exciting, because they disrupt predictability. Playfulness also allows for exploration. When you are playful, you are more willing to try new things, to experiment, to discover together without fear of failure. You are more likely to say, let's see what happens, instead of, it has to go this way. That mindset creates shared adventures, and adventures bond people together. Instead of intimacy being a rigid script, it becomes a journey where both of you can surprise each other. And in that journey, passion never feels stagnant, because it's always evolving. It's important to realize that playfulness doesn't mean immaturity. You can be deeply mature and responsible in life, yet still bring lightness and joy into your most intimate moments. In fact, true maturity often includes the ability to not take everything so seriously, to recognize that laughter and fun are just as important as depth and seriousness. Playfulness does not take away from intensity, it enhances it. When you can move fluidly between laughter and passion, between silliness and seriousness, you create a connection with many layers. Think back to the most memorable moments you've ever had with someone. Chances are, many of them involve laughter. Maybe you both couldn't stop giggling about something silly.
Maybe you turned an awkward situation into an inside joke. Those moments stand out because they weren't scripted, they were authentic. They remind us that intimacy is not just about bodies, it's about energy. Playfulness is energy, and energy is unforgettable.
In the end, striving for perfection often creates distance, but embracing playfulness builds closeness. Perfection isolates, you're stuck in your own head, worrying about how you're doing. Playfulness connects, you're both in the moment, enjoying it together, and that's what intimacy is supposed to be. Not a performance, but a shared experience. It's not about impressing, but about connecting. It's not about flawless execution, but about joyful presence. And when you bring playfulness into that space, you create something far more powerful than perfect. You create unforgettable. What happens after intimacy is often underestimated, yet it can define the entire experience and determine whether it becomes something he forgets quickly or something he carries with him long after. Aftercare is not just a nice extra, it's the glue that binds passion to connection. It's the quiet, subtle moments that follow the way you hold him, the way you breathe together, the words you choose to whisper that leave an emotional imprint more powerful than the act itself. Too many people think intimacy ends at the climax, but the truth is, the moments afterward are where the deepest bonds are formed. Think of it this way: if intimacy is fire, then aftercare is the warmth that lingers once the flames settle. Without it, the heat dies quickly. With it, the warmth spreads and seeps deep into the memory, leaving him wanting to return to it again and again. Aftercare is not complicated. It's often made up of the smallest gestures: a lingering touch, a kiss on the forehead, tracing your fingers across his skin, playing with his hair, or simply holding him in silence. These are the acts that tell him he is valued beyond the physical. Why is aftercare so powerful? Because it speaks to the human need for reassurance. During intimacy, walls come down. He may not show it outwardly, but even the most confident man becomes vulnerable in those moments. Aftercare is what reassures him that his vulnerability is safe with you. It tells him he's not just desired in the heat of passion, but cared for in the calm that follows. That assurance is what turns a fleeting connection into an enduring one. Aftercare also deepens emotional intimacy because it slows things down. It shifts the focus from doing to being. It's not about performance anymore, it's about presence. Holding him close, breathing in rhythm with him, sharing quiet words, or simply lying together in stillness invites him into a kind of closeness that cannot be replicated through physical acts alone. That presence says, "I see you, I'm still here with you." Those are the moments when the bond between two people strengthens, because it is no longer about desire, it is about care. Consider how it feels when aftercare is missing. Imagine intimacy that ends abruptly with one person rolling over, reaching for their phone, or pulling away as though the moment no longer matters. Even if the physical part was good, the sudden absence of tenderness leaves a hollow space. He may feel like a participant in an act rather than a partner in a connection. That emptiness is what makes someone drift away emotionally. It's not that the passion wasn't there, it's that the connection wasn't nurtured. And connection is what makes him return, again and again. Aftercare is also where communication quietly enters. It's where you can whisper a compliment, say something playful, or share a soft thought you wouldn't have said during the intensity of the moment. Telling him he feels good to be close to, or that you love how he makes you feel. Plant seeds in his mind that grow into longing. These little affirmations are not dramatic speeches, they're whispers, murmurs, fragments that sink deeper because they're said in the quiet aftermath of passion. That timing makes them unforgettable. Another aspect of aftercare is touch, and not the hurried kind. It's slow, intentional, affectionate, running your hand down his arm, pressing your cheek against his chest, drawing circles with your fingertips. These touches ground him. They signal that you are still connected, still invested, still with him even though the peak has passed. This kind of tenderness is rare, because so often people rush away from intimacy, instead of leaning into it. When you lean in, you create something he won't want to let go of. It's also worth noting that aftercare doesn't look the same for everyone. For some it's physical closeness and cuddling, for others it's humor and light conversation, for some it's quiet, content silence. The key is awareness. Pay attention to what makes him relax, what makes him feel seen. If you notice he softens when you stroke his hair, or he smiles when you tease him gently afterward, lean into those cues. Aftercare is about tuning into him, not following a formula. The more personalized it is, the more powerful it becomes. What truly sets aftercare apart is the way it extends intimacy beyond the bedroom. When you treat the moments after as important as the moments during, you're sending a message. This isn't just about the physical, this is about us. You're showing him he matters, not just as a body, but as a person. That message creates a lasting impression because it touches him on a level deeper than desire. It touches his need to belong, to be cared for, to feel special. Think about the way memories form. We don't always remember the big dramatic moments as vividly as we remember the quiet, intimate ones. The way someone made us feel safe, the way they touched us gently after passion, the way they whispered something that stuck in our minds for days. Aftercare is fertile ground for those memories to grow. He may not remember every detail of the physical, but he will remember how you made him feel afterward, and feelings last far longer than sensations. There's also an element of balance in aftercare. Intensity during intimacy is balanced by tenderness after. Fire is balanced by calm. Energy is balanced by stillness. That contrast makes the entire experience richer because it satisfies both the body and the heart. Without aftercare, things feel incomplete, like a story without an ending. With it, everything feels whole, finished, and yet at the same time leaves him hungry for more. The beauty of aftercare lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require grand gestures. You don't have to plan it. It's in the little choices, the choice to stay close instead of pulling away, the choice to share warmth instead of retreating into distance, the choice to extend the connection instead of cutting it off. Those choices accumulate, and over time they define how he experiences you. They determine whether he sees you as someone he shared a moment with, or someone he can't stop craving. When you embrace aftercare, you're not only nurturing him, you're nurturing the connection itself. You're strengthening the foundation on which passion can keep building. Every soft word, every gentle touch, every shared laugh afterward is an investment in the relationship. It's an investment that pays off because it creates loyalty, devotion, and a desire that is not just physical but emotional, and that is the kind of desire that endures. So when you look at all of these signs together, the truth becomes clear. Love is rarely about what someone says, it's always about what they do. The late-night texts, the way they lean in closer, the little details they remember, the way they guard your time like it's precious, these aren't random acts, they are proof of feelings too strong to hide. If someone shows you these signs, don't dismiss them, because you are seeing a heart that can no longer stay silent. And when you recognize that, you step into your power, you stop doubting, stop chasing, and start receiving the love that's been right in front of you all along.